Immersed Robot.
Hello everyone, welcome to Immersed Robot, and in this video I wanted to talk about the Oculus Gaming Showcase which happened last night. So there were quite a few things that were announced, and I wanted to focus on two of the things that interested me most in this video, but I will quickly mention the other things as well. So the first thing I wanted to get into is Lone Echo 2. This has been a long time coming, so we've not heard too much about Lone Echo 2 for a while, but they did show a little bit more footage and give a little bit more information on this game yesterday. So the first game, which I played when it was first released back in 2017 I believe, was absolutely fantastic. I adored that game. I thought it was one of the sort of pinnacle narrative VR games at that time, and it helped that it was focused in science fiction as well, because that is obviously one of my passions as well. It almost had this Silent Running vibe in some ways, where there was this sort of lone human on a spacecraft of some description with an AI life form, and you played that AI life form in the original Lone Echo, and there was something about that game, just like something I'm not usually too into, like the inverse kinematics of the body and that kind of stuff. In the robotic form, it just seemed to click, it just seemed to gel and work so well. The graphics were of course fantastic, and I've been looking forward to Lone Echo 2 for a long time. So they basically shown a little bit more footage. It looks like there is going to be a few different interactions, a few different kinds of puzzles and that kind of stuff, but generally it looks like it's playing into the same vibes and the same kind of experience as the first game, which I'm pleased about, honestly. I want a new narrative experience based around that same concept, which it looks like we're getting. The other thing I was sort of predicting over the past couple of days, that perhaps there could be a Quest 2 announcement of Lone Echo 2, possibly even a port of the original game over to Quest. I'm sure they're trying to do that, or they've tried to do it, but because that would be an incredible thing for them to achieve, and it would result in plenty of sales, I'm sure, but it doesn't look like they're ready to announce that at this stage, if they're capable of doing it at all, because of course the limited hardware of the Quest and Quest 2, I don't know if they'd be able to get that game running on there at all, but I'm sure it's on their priority list if at all possible. So it looks like they're progressing really well with this game. It is releasing this summer, and we've not heard anything for quite a while really about it, and it does feel like it's been a long time in the making, which is great. I hope they're just taking their time polishing it to the same level that the original game had, because that was one of the things that made that experience great too. It was just a nicely polished, complete experience from start to finish. The other specific thing I wanted to mention about the Oculus Gaming Showcase is of course Resident Evil 4. This is one of the main focuses of this event as well. The presenter spent a long time talking about this and went into quite a bit of detail about the game. So this is a game which is coming to Quest 2. It's the first Quest 2 exclusive, and it's by Armature, Capcom and Oculus. They're all working together, and by all accounts they've been working for a long time on this. It looks like they've been working on this for 2 years, and by the footage that they showed, it seems to reflect that in quite a lot of ways. So just judging by what the presenter was saying and the footage that was being shown, this to me looks to be one of the most in-depth VR ports that we've received so far from a flat game. So we've had plenty of other ports of big games, full AAA games like say Fallout 4, Skyrim, but those were always left a little bit wanting in terms of VR mechanics, specific VR mechanics that were transitioned over away from the abstraction of flat gaming controls over to the motion controller support within VR. They sort of, in some ways it feels a little bit half-hearted what Bethesda did with Fallout 4 and Skyrim, and perhaps that's a little bit harsh, but some of the interactions that you had were button presses rather than sort of actual physical manipulation, which I think they could have done had they put in, granted quite a lot more work, they could have done that, and some of these things have been rectified in the meantime with things like mods and stuff like that. No Man's Sky is another example. I think the VR implementation in No Man's Sky was actually incredibly well done, and you can tell that the Hello Games put a lot of work into that VR port of the game. So that sort of ranks up there in terms of the in-depth VR ports that I would like to see from more games of that scope. And Resident Evil 4, it looks like this has gone even further with regards to that in some ways. So it looks like they have made, like, interacting with physical objects within the world, they've made actual physical objects which you can manually pick up, physically interact with your motion controllers, and this is of course something specific that was missing from Fallout and Skyrim. You also have the option to go into your inventory and manage that in a more VR friendly way. You can also dual wield weapons now that it's been revealed, so these are all, you know, little touches which make all the difference in VR ports of flat games. They've also included plenty of options within this game as well, it looks like, so you can have smooth movement or you can have teleport movement as well, which some people will obviously prefer. You've got snap and smooth turning, and aside from the sort of general VR things that we were all sort of focused on, VR enthusiasts are always focused on these little touches within VR ports because, as I say, they do make the difference, and we like to see things like snap turning, smooth turning, teleport movement and smooth locomotion as well. These are all great things to hear, and when you see that this has been coupled with actual them reworking the game around VR in terms of hand interaction, then I think this bodes really well. But aside from those things, they have also mentioned that the art has been updated, so they've changed some of the world geometry so it doesn't look quite so flat in stereoscopic 3D as obviously you'll view it in a VR headset. They've enhanced some of the textures, repainted some of the textures was the term that the presenter used. They've also fixed some of the bugs and allowed it to run at the higher frame rates as well within VR headsets. One thing that was mentioned as well was that the cutscenes will be presented in their original format, which to me says that they will be presented on a flat 2D display projected in front of you in VR, which, you know, it does take you out of it a little bit, but this is a way a lot of games will get around the difficulty of transferring cutscenes over to VR when it can be a little bit uncomfortable if the camera is moving around quite jarringly without any user control. So I can understand this, and it's fine for cutscenes. It doesn't bother me too much. Something like Borderlands treated it in the same way. So yeah, this game, it looks to be shaping up really well, and I'm looking forward to giving this one a try on the Quest. I love my Quest 2, and I'm looking to do maybe a little bit more content on the Quest. It's difficult when I'm trying to find things I'm specifically interested in and specifically focusing on covering rather than just games that I dip in and out of here and there. So I don't want to just cover things for the sake of covering them. I want to cover things that I'm actually interested in. So something like Resident Evil 4 will definitely be on that list. So just very quickly, just to finish off here, a few of the other things that were announced at the Oculus Gaming Showcase. So we're seeing the next part of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. I didn't play the first one, but I think it was received in sort of a lukewarm way, really. But I'd be interested to try it once that gets a little bit more content in there. Pistol Whip DLC as well, so there's another couple of campaigns coming for Pistol Whip. There was the Warhammer Battle Sister update as well, which allows the game to be played in co-op. There was the I Expect You to Die 2 trailer as well. Carve Snowboarding, After the Fall as well, that has been announced to be coming to the Quest as well as PC VR. The Climb is also receiving some free DLC too, as is Saints and Sinners is receiving the Aftershocks DLC as well, coming on May the 20th. So I just wanted to go in depth really on Lone Echo 2 and Resident Evil 4. They were the two highlights for me, but of course there were quite a few other things mentioned here as well. There was no mention of Splinter Cell VR or Assassin's Creed, but that's okay. If they're not ready to speak about those more at this stage, then that's fine. I'd rather they say nothing than build up hype too early, in all honesty, so that's fine for me. But overall it was sort of a relatively good showcase. There weren't too many surprises here, but it was a good solid showcase nevertheless. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to seeing some more of these from Oculus in the future. But that's pretty much it from me for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Please consider picking up my science fiction virtual reality focused novel, The Memory Engine, a light-hearted tongue-in-cheek adventure through the metaverse, available on Amazon Kindle, paperback and as an Audible audiobook. Links in the description to this video. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy it.